Considerations for event time and date selection. In the process of determining when your event will take place, you need to look at quite a number of factors you have no control over. These factors, which include weather, holidays, and competing events, can obliterate your attendance numbers if you don't identify them and work around them. Conversely, those very same conditions that might not be the reason you don't pick certain dates, but the reason you do. For example, while you don't want freezing temperatures at a beach bash, you definitely do want them for a downhill skiing competition. You certainly don't want to hold a business conference during a family holiday vacation period, but you may want to have a holiday-related festival or auction. Even events that directly compete with yours will water down your event's attendance, but complementary events might augment it. If you're planning a sports medicine conference and someone else is having a sporting goods trade show in the same city, you will likely increase your attendance and give value added to participants by scheduling back-to-back with them. You also need to recognize that there are many scheduling considerations that come into play each day of your event. These are determined by attendee demographic, amount of light, daylight or dark, serviceability, and much more. As with event dates, event scheduling has a big impact on the overall success of your events. The following conditions are most certainly not the only ones you need to consider, but they should give you a comprehensive overview of what to look for and look out for every time you begin the process of selecting the perfect date for your event. International holiday days that may coincide with your event plans. There are between 189 and 195 countries in the world, and all have their own holidays. Here are just some of the globally recognized designated day dates. Most of these are not likely to dilute attendance to your events, but you may want to incorporate them into events where applicable. This practice helps grow awareness of their causes and opens up sponsorship, press, and other opportunities to your events. Between January and May, you have World Literary Day, International Women of Color Day and International Women's Day, World Book Day, International Day for the Elimination of Racial Discrimination, World Day for Water, World Health Day, Earth Day, World Press Freedom Day, World Red Cross Day, International Day of Families, International Day for Biological Diversity, and World No Tobacco Day. From June to September, World Ocean Day, World Blood Donor Day, World Refugee Day, International Day Against Drug Abuse and Trafficking, World Population Day, International Day of the World's Indigenous People, International Biodiesel Day, International Youth Day, International Literacy Day, International Day for the Preservation of the Ozone Layer, Talk Like a Pirate Day, and Peace One Day. Between October and December, International Day for the Elderly, International Music Day, World Farm Animals Day, World Animal Day, World Teachers Day, World Mental Health Day, World Food Day, International Day for the Eradication of Poverty, United Nations Day, International Day for Tolerance, International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, World AIDS Day, International Day for the Abolition of Slavery, International Volunteers Day, and Human Rights Day. Major national and global holidays are those that have critical masses of celebrants worldwide or in certain nations. In the United States and Canada, for example, we have Thanksgiving, the fourth Thursday in every November. Canada's is the second Monday in October, and the U.S. has Memorial Day weekend in May and Labor Day weekend in September. International religious holidays can really impact your event. There are approximately 4,000 practiced religions in the world today. It's your responsibility as an event planner to know what the major religious observances are in each of your event's host countries. In many cases, religious observances last many days or even weeks. Here's a list of the top 22 global religions based on number of adherents. Christianity 2.1 billion, Islam 1.5, secular non-religious 1.1, Hinduism 900 million, Chinese traditional 394 million, Buddhism 376 million, primal indigenous 300 million, African traditional 100 million, Sikhism 23 million, Juka 19 million, and Spiritism 15 million. The list continues with 14 million Judaism, Baha'i 7 million, Jainism 4.2 million, Shinto 4 million, Saudai 4 million, Zoroastrianism 2.6 million, Tenrikyo 2 million, Neo-Paganism 1 million, Unitarian Universalism 800,000, Rastafarianism 600,000, finished off by Scientology at 500,000. You may think of only sporting events that could conflict with yours or those on the scale of Super Bowl, Stanley Cup, World Series, or Olympics. Think again. Depending on where you are in the world at any given time, you may find that entire cities virtually shut down because their team is playing at home or somewhere else. The crowd adrenaline of rabid sports fans is also contagious. In the right place at the right time, your imported attendees might even decide to jump ship in favor of a live experience at the big game. Here are 9 sports and the number of people who watch them religiously. These are guaranteed to shut you down if you try to compete with their events in the countries where they are popular. And each country has a few more favorites you need to know about as well. Baseball, 80 million religious viewers. Basketball, 22 million. American football, 17 million. Association football, 13 million. Australian football, 8 million. Cricket, 3.5 million. League rugby, 3.5 million. Canadian football, 2 million. And union rugby, 2 million. When planning events, also watch for non-holiday dates that aren't related to anything but their individual significance. For example, in the United States, there are compelling reasons not to schedule events on the week before Tax Day, April 15th, weeks or weekends with a Friday the 13th in them, U.S. September 11th, Twin Towers destruction, and daylight savings days because people forget to change their clocks and will be late or early. Weather. Weather can affect everything from travel to a destination to how you equip your venue in order to make it comfortable and safe, regardless of heat, cold, wind, and precipitation. Seasons, ocean currents, high-altitude air currents, global warming, and numerous other conditions changes influence weather. So you will always want to know a lot about the climate of potential destinations and what patterns are expected during the season you are considering. As even professional meteorologists have a hard time predicting weather with perfect accuracy, we won't even try. We also don't maintain that the following countries are perfect or imperfect for your events. You just need to know if their weather is an asset or detriment to your event vision and attendance. The coldest countries are Antarctica, Norway, northern Canada, Greenland, and northern Russia, which weigh in as having the longest, coldest number of days a year. The hottest countries in the world, with temperatures over 80 degrees common in their winter months, include Libya, Tunisia, Mali, Ethiopia, Iraq, Iran, Egypt, India, Yemen, Kuwait, UAE, Sudan, and Death Valley, California, USA. The wettest countries include Guinea, Solomon Islands, Sierra Leone, Gabon, Burma, Malaysia, Guyana, Seychelles, India, Singapore, Hawaii, Cameroon, Colombia, and Myanmar. For ongoing cloud cover, the winters are Scotland, Denmark, Ireland, Sweden, Iceland, Greenland, and Norway. The sunniest countries in the world are Chile, Egypt, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Chad, and Oman. And finally, although a data criterion is subjective, the best overall year-round climates in the world are widely considered to be Malta, Grand Canaries, Costa Rica, and various locations in Mexico. You also need to consider what time of day certain activities or events should not be held. For example, many religions have times designated for worship and family. In some religions, it is forbidden to have ceremonies or celebrations at certain times. The young and elderly are disinclined to stay up as late as 20-somethings. If your event includes physical activity, don't schedule those sessions too close to the completion of a meal. And if there are outdoor elements to it, make sure folks are back inside before dark or lighting is provided. If your event is a web conference, when will it be scheduled to be the most convenient for attendees in different time zones? One of the best ways to pick dates and times of day for sessions and activities is to back out of the what could go wrong scenario. Let's say you want to schedule a 3-day science symposium in Seattle in November. What could go wrong? It could snow a lot, but probably won't. It could be too close to the Thanksgiving holiday. There might be sporting, social, political events that are happening that month. Check local, state, national, and global calendars in every category you can imagine. A bit of research ahead of time will save you from the disaster of low attendance on opening day.